you're driving the same car since high school. You're driving your car into a ground. So for you, having a nice car isn't that important. Are you more of an A to B type of girl? Like, I got to get around. I'm not going to drive a piece of shit.
As long as it gets me to point A to point B.
Okay.
I'm not going to drive like but.
Okay. Now, flip side, that's for you. How important it is for your man to drive a nice car? For your man to drive a nice car. How important is that?
It is. I mean, I hope it's not like a
rape van.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, kids, come on into the rape van.
For me, it's the memories we make in them.
Oh my God, this girl's
sorry, guys.
Making the car.
Very deep. I don't know what I wanted to tell you.
Let me making some memories. Oh my God. Okay, so it's not that, but there's a limit to the car.
Right, of course.
What's the limit? This is what I'm trying to get. Like, he doesn't have to drive a Mercedes, but you were pretty clear.
I love Toyota Camrys.
If your dude rode up in a Toyota Camry, you'd be okay with that?
Oh, I'd be chilling.
How about a Toyota Corolla?
Cool.
Toyota Corolla?
Yeah.
So
as long as if it's nice, it's not run down. Like, as long as it's not a run down car.
Okay. But you were pretty clear, Jenny, that if your dude has got a Mini Cooper, that it's not a good look.
I just mean because I feel like a Mini Cooper is a more feminine car.
Gotcha.
So like I just like I don't feel like it's like masculine for you to pull up to my car in my little Mini Cooper.
So
I think it's cute. It's cute when you drive my car, like but
hey,
don't pull up in my
I'll
same
drive
car.
your car. Nancy, guys, cars, turn on, turn off. Is it something that he can drive and you're like, dude, guy just rolled up in a Porsche and I'm turned on right now, or it's like, buddy just rolled up in a broke down Civic. What are your limits with a car?
So I grew up with a lot of Asians, and we have what they call ricers.
Ricers, like a racer, but like an Asian racer?
Sure, but it's like a Tokyo Drift style, like lowered Honda Accord, lots of LED lights.
The thing on the back, what's that thing called?
Spoilers. Like 3 feet spoilers and stuff.
Yeah, Asians, this is what they do. Your crew.
Sure,
you said
it. I mean, there's a category of them that do it.
Okay.
And then at some point you get kind of like burnt out on it. So then like growing up with guys that were like so obsessed with their cars.
Yeah.
And then spending everything they did just to like soup up like their little Honda Fit or whatever.
Okay.
So I think after a certain point you kind of outgrow that, because that was during the time where like Fast and the Furious was like super crazy. And then everybody wanted to like do street racing, everything. So as long as they're not that obsessed with it, that has no like unless they're being like a professional racer or something, then.
So you're more concerned about the obsessiveness of the car.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, just get to A to B. Like, I don't need you to, get the system and the spoiler and the LEDs and we're racing.
And you're more obsessed with the car than me.
Yeah, it's like, focus on me. Make me happy, not your car happy.
Yeah,
you want him revving your engines, not the car engine. Did I do something okay there? Was that right?
Yeah, sure.
Jenny?
Facts.
Okay,
you said that very
So
factually.
if a dude rolls up in a sick car, give me a sick car where you're like, dude, that's a sick car. What's a sick car to you? Sick.
I mean, if he shows up in a Ferrari, that's cool.
Ferrari, okay, Ferrari, Lamborghini,
Rolls-Royce,
sick Rolls Royce. What does that do to you as a female? Like, you're like, oh shit, okay. Like, are you more willing to like, put out a little bit? You know what I'm saying? What does a car do? Sick car. Don't say nothing. Don't say it. Don't give me the. It matters the memories that happens in the car.
It reminds me of those prank videos.
It's just like growing up in Miami is a different whole vibe of this. You know what I mean? So I feel like when you're younger and you don't really understand life and you're just like looking at it like, oh wow, that's a nice car. Like, wow. But when you grow up and you see the logistics of what's really happening, it changes perspective. Like, a lot of men think that they can buy you just by pulling up in a nice whip. Yeah. Which you don't even own. You just rented it to take me out on this date, which I appreciate you investing in this date. However, I want the real you. Like, I don't want you to think that you can just buy me into the car.
Oh, you're saying that they rent a car for the date?
Some guys do that.
Oh.
It's like your high school reunion.
But that's why when you talk, but no, they do that. Some guys do that.
I'm going to need a car for this weekend. It's my high school reunion. Yeah, okay.
Some guys do that. And it's
Miami is the king of rent a Lamborghini for the weekend.
That's what I'm telling you. Like, being in Miami is a different,
I did like what you say. It's not about the car. It's the memories that we make in the car.
But it is.
Front seat or back seat?
All seats.
Jenny, what about if he comes in a bike?
Who's that?
Oh, if he comes in a bike and
in
a bicicleta. Is there room for me in the bicicleta?
Oh my God, double-decker bike. Can we lose the God voice? Can we just have a regular voice if you're going to weigh in? I feel like the voice of God over here. So, so if a guy drives an absolute clunker, piece of shit, Are you giving him a second date?
I'm a little turned off. I'm not gonna.
Turned off. So if a clunker rolls up and he's like, "Hey, get in," it's like my parents used Honda
Yeah, I'm
Civic.
a
It's kind of
little
broke.
turned
You're
off.
turned
Yeah,
off.
I'm turned off.
Is that you're turned off? If it's a piece of shit, one of the ricers show up and it's like the worst ricer out there.
It's like the tailpipe is dragging across the thing.
You know, sparks.
So, because like
What's
there's
the limits for like how big of a piece of shit that like if it's like a jalopy?
so from what I heard, like when it comes to money, you should definitely invest in anything that keeps you off the ground. So your shoes, your bed, and like your wheels on your car.
Say that again. Anything you should invest in. What now?
Like if you're gonna like ball out on something, it should be something that keeps you off the ground. So like you need good shoes, you need to protect your feet, you need
Yeah.
a good bed to like it's good for your back,
Yeah.
and then you need good wheels for your car because if you can't drive from A to B, that's the whole you lose
Good
the whole point of everything.
wheels.
Yeah,
Specifically, you're
Wheels.
focused on the wheels, not the actual vehicle.
yeah, but if you're not committed to the rest of the car, the wheels are probably dog shit too.
Oh, I like that. I like that. What happens if like I think it was Calvin that just chimed in? He said, "What happens if he rolls up on a bike?
On a bicicleta.
What's up? Hop in the fucking the basket,
like-
baby."
What is it like? Are we going on a picnic? Like, I'm kind of down for that. You know?
Yeah, it's a picnic. What about
Like
a
a nice little
motorcycle?
picnic on the-
Guys that drive motorcycles, is that a turn on or is that a little
Oh,
dangerous?
motorcycles are cool.
I'm
Yeah?
nervous.
Okay.
I'm
Nervous?
I've only been on a motorcycle once, and I enjoyed it, but it's nerve-wracking.
What happens if there was like this dude, right? Hypothetical. I'm just gonna make this up on the top of my head. Guy's doing pretty well for himself, pretty successful, lives in a sick place, right? He's got money, he's doing his thing. He might even host his own show. But then he's got no car. He just Ubers everywhere. Everywhere. He doesn't have a car. He's just Ubering everywhere. What are your thoughts on that?
I would ask him what his reasoning is for it.
Yeah, I'll tell you why my reasoning is. My reasoning.
Go.
Okay, so I live downtown Miami. I'm talking about myself.
Oh,
Right
okay.
here. I live downtown Miami. You know where the Miami Heat Arena is, right there.
course.
Okay, I live right there. You know where the marquee is, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know where the museum is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I work. That's where I lived, and I was driving up to Boca nonstop, and I had an older Mercedes. It broke down. I was like, all right, let me see. It was gonna cost like $3,000 to like fix this Mercedes. I was just over it. I was like, I'm not gonna fix it. Let me see how long I could go with no car. 10 years later, I still have no car. I Uber everywhere, Jenny. But where I live, downtown Miami, the only place I'm going is around downtown Miami or to South Beach. And if I'm going to South Beach, I'm gonna have a drink, I'm gonna party, I'm gonna Uber. I'm not trying to catch a Dewey. A lot of my friends have caught DUIs, so I've avoided that.
Yeah.
So it has not stopped me from having a good time, dating, all that
Yeah.
kind of good stuff. I've actually even bought a girlfriend a car. I just don't want to have a car.
Yeah.
Is there a problem with that?
No.
Good answer. Good answer.
Well, that's the thing, like
Sometimes Nancy gives me a ride home occasionally.
because I think it's implied if you don't have a car, you're broke.
Yes,
And if you're not broke, then if it works out for you, then sure.
I agree. Well, here's what I'm saying. If you live in New York City or in any major
you
freaking
don't-
city,
yeah.
if you don't have a car, nobody thinks like
Nobody-
you're like nobody. It's not a big
yeah.
deal. But in Miami, for some reason, people are like, "You don't have a car? How do you get groceries?" It's like, have you ever heard of Instacart? Have you ever heard of Amazon? Have you ever heard of any of this stuff?
Yeah.
So, but the point that I'm getting at these days, let me try to, clearly a guy. Let me just state some facts right now. Guy rolls up with a piece of shit, not a good look. Guy rolls up with a Mini Cooper, probably not a masculine look. Okay, supply and demand. Car prices are insane right now. Cars aren't exactly a good investment to begin with. So now if you're typically paying 20 grand for a car, now you're paying 30 grand for a car. You're just getting yourself more into debt. Now, obviously with a car, you got car loans, you got interest rates, you got gas, you got maintenance, you got upkeep. God forbid you get a DUI. It's just a bunch of nonsense. If you live in a major city, here's my point. If you live in a major city, you live in the downtown, you can work from home, you can work from anywhere. You're not driving a half hour to work any day. The average car sits 95% of the day. That's 23 out of 24 hours. My point to you is this. Flip the script, people. You don't have to have a car, especially if you're going to go into debt or broke for your car. And if you can somehow get around without a car, give it a shot. I've done it for 10 years.